Just getting set up. Not going to be much talking during this until people get here anyway. If people show up, I hope so. Didn't really announce it, and there's a bit of break in the schedule, so oh yeah, grab that thing too. And yeah, it should be good. All right. Hey, what's going on, Rob? I joined Brett Booth's Patreon, and he has high resolution pencils. and wanted to give this a try in case I decide to do commissions at some point because I hear from people that do that kind of stuff that the commissioners don't like blue, but they don't mind light gray. So I thought I would try light gray. Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna hit him up specifically. I don't know. Maybe I will. I used to work with Brett a long time ago, and God knows I would be thrilled to be called to do some Spawn. That wouldn't hurt my feelings a bit. I would absolutely do that. But yeah, I thought I would give this gray printout because what this is like a 50% gray or something like that. Maybe it was 40, just enough to where I can barely see the line, and I mean barely. And really, once you stick the black over it, it's so light that the gray just sort of just vanishes. Because when you go to scan this stuff and bring it into digital, you got to sit there and fart around with basically with clip anyway. You wind up converting it to grayscale, and then you got to get rid of the gray anyway. You separate the gray from the black. So I thought, well, if I just make it light enough, maybe I could just pull that out the clip, and I think that'll work just fine. don't know. I wouldn't get my hopes up because he's got a Delso Corona over there, who, quite frankly, is like a beast of an anchor. Just absolutely kicks my ass. I tip my hat to that guy. He's awesome. See, I think I'd have to print this a little bit darker if I was going to do this for a professional gig, because it's hard for me to see it. But I could see where, if you're doing a commission and you were working digitally to produce your sketch or even your pencils, if it was your work, you wouldn't necessarily have to know how each and every line looked there on the page the way you are supposed to when you're interpreting somebody else's. Or I feel like, anyway. I mean, you should definitely bring something to work that's you, if you can. Um, but definitely the priority for me is to not underappreciate that other person's contribution to the work. It's not you. You know, you're not inking you, you're inking them. In a full pencil situation. But yeah, I mainly just did this as a test to see how that would come out. And this gives me a chance to uh, test tools. You know, I did buy a bunch of pens. Yeah, Delta Corona. That's sweet. The other guy, that Todd's got over there in his stable a lot, Daniel Henriquez. That guy's awesome too. So, you know, And plus, they got Sal Regla hanging around. And I'm like, oh well, shit. Oh, it has me as the inker on the chapter. uh, Not over Tom Rainey. It must be somebody else. Maybe there's a guy that I inked that was working during that time. Drew a lot like Alan Davis. I forget his name. Oh, and something else. If they ever get stuck for an inker, guess what? Bad news, inkers. I was over at Brett Boost Patreon. Turns out Brett can ink. Who knew? I had no idea. Oh, I know how I'll fix that. Okay, I'm gonna change weapons here. Yeah, not digging it. And it's fine for a convention or something. But I just don't feel real confident with my hand inking anymore. My eyesight just isn't. It is really light though. Maybe that's what it is. Bugging me, but oh well. Maybe it's just this marker. I'm not crazy about that. Hey, what's going on? Someone saying Oscar Jimenez. Yeah, that's the guy I was thinking of. Has kind of an Alan Davis soft, kind of brushy sort of look. I remember being pretty happy with that job. Someone's saying, "How you doing, man?" Managing moderators can help support your channel in even more ways. Let's have a fucking pop up in the middle of your live stream to fuck with you. Fuck off, YouTube. I'm doing something. Here we go. Great. Just gotta get on this thing. That sucks. Oh well. Anyway, that's pissing me off. So we're gonna put that aside. Screw that thing. Next time I'll print the pencils darker. But I did have stuff I was gonna get out to show you guys several weeks ago now. But I figured we'd flip through this thing since you got it ready. Batman Joker Deadly Duo. This is the unplugged edition. Contains, I think, the first two issues of it. Oh, someone saying that was Brett Booth that I was butchering there. Wow. I really haven't flipped through this that much since I got it. I really should have. Rob was saying, what kind of markers are these? What kind of markers are these that he's using, Rob? Was it you that told me? Copic multiliners, maybe? Somebody told me what these were. I don't remember. I think it was the Copic pens, though. They give you this kind of gray look to it. What's up, G-Man? Copic multiliners, yeah. Of course, the problem with the pens is uh, they don't come with a set of a set of Sylvester's hands. Sylvester not included, and that's where you're going to really run into a snag. Wow. They had a French edition with all this stuff, I guess, and it's been sold out for a little while. I can't find a copy of it. Well, I like color too, D man. I don't have anything against color, but I produce artwork in black and white. Somebody else colors it. Now, if I'm coloring, I pay more attention to color. It's just kind of the nature of the beast, you know. Uh, Whatever it is that you're focused on, you start to appreciate it more. You're trying to lay out, you'll start looking at guys that you like their layouts, and if you start penciling, you'll look at the guys who you like their pencils, or that you have examples of their pencils to inspire you. It's just kind of what you do, or what I do anyway. And one week I'll be into something really simple, really basic, visceral stuff like Frank Miller or Steve Ditko or something like that. And then other times I'll be looking at stuff like this where they really noodled the shit out of it. And I love both equally. This is gorgeous stuff. And you took or something like that on this thing. I could swear that's a photo that I've seen. Like I keep wanting to say it's maybe Malcolm McDowell. I don't know. I don't know, but it looks very familiar to me. Maybe it's just a light scheme. Wow, the detail level in this face of the Joker here in the middle. Crazy. No, I've never inked any of Adam Warren because I don't feel like I'm familiar enough with the manga style to do what it is that he's indicating. And some of that stuff he's putting down, he's laying down with the side of the pencil, which that's fine if you're going to print from the pencil. But if you're going to hand that over to an inker, you're really asking them to interpret quite a bit. And what they give you back may or may not be what you had in mind at all. Because if you just lay down a gray tone on the side with the side of your pencil like that, who knows what you'll get back. Looks like a still from the first Batman movie. Maybe. Could be. Maybe that's what I'm getting a flash of. Like, maybe, and that would that kind of sounds like I can actually see Mark in a studio setting where he's like working on this stuff and like looking at his favorite parts of the movies or whatever for inspiration. Um, because that first Batman movie especially had I wasn't so thrilled with Michael Keaton as Batman or anything else like that. Some of the direction was kind of weird. I know people love that movie, but what really struck me was was Gotham, the architecture, the style of the architecture going on in that movie was incredible. Um, oh, I forget who it is that did that. Anyway, but yeah, the really incredible stuff. Wow, speaking of incredible stuff, look at that. That is crazy. Very Bernie Wrightson-ish. Yeah, I like Adam Warren's stuff better ink too, but I kind of understand inking is a lot more of a technical precision sort of thing. There's not as much creativity in it a lot of times, and um, you don't really feel like you're doing a lot of input as an artist sometimes when if you're just straight inking. Um, Even if it's your own stuff, it's kind of like, geez, this is like one more time. I'm going to go over this again. Some guys just don't feel real free with it. And if you can get somebody to agree to just print your pencils, and I think like what is the name of that book that he keeps doing what he's doing from the pencils? I've got a couple volumes of it. The name escapes me at the moment. It's not Dirty Pair. It's one he's done since the '90s. Unpowered. That's the name of it. Unpowered. Yeah, I think that's it. It came out from Dark Horse, I guess. Wow. Just to have the black and white of that to look at for the technique. See, that's what I like. Like you got the color there. You don't get a good look at all this stuff back here. A lot of work going on back there. Plus, it covers up some of this gorgeous line work of the figure too. This is one of those books, really. That yeah, I love this background too. I, this is one of those books that I really think you could do this in so many editions. Honestly, if there had been an artist edition of this series available right now, if that you could have given me out of the pages that were done, if Mark has them all still, uh, you could probably give me three artist editions worth at least. I don't know how many pages he did for the whole thing, but artist editions run about 160 pages each. I don't know, probably not that many. I don't know how long the issues were, but yeah, you could have sold me artist editions immediately. And I keep waiting for somebody to. Anton First did that design. That's who that was. Good call, D man. Um, no, I keep waiting for somebody to jump on the idea of doing like an Inkers Artist Edition. Like, okay, let's just grab up all the Danny Mickey pages we can find and like grab up all the Terry Alston pages we can find. They don't have to be John Byrne pages. He did some real nice pages over so many different artists uh, that I would love to see again. I'd love to see the originals of. Um, Joe Rubenstein, Richard Bennett. Wow. I would love to see some of those originals in artist edition format. Let's see the other things we were going to go through today. I had out the my Danger Girl expanded edition sketchbook. Has anyone heard of the artist Rodolfo DiMaggio? He did Green Arrow and some Batman. I am familiar with Rodolfo DiMaggio. Some of that Batman and Green Arrow stuff that he did was inked by Bill Sienkiewicz, and I'm gonna immediately pay attention to anything Bill Sienkiewicz gets hold of. So, yeah, I've got a copy of the original of this that came out years and years and years ago. This has got some added material. I haven't really compared side by side to see what what the added material may be. But it is nice having it larger. And one of the major reasons why I got it is because it opens flat. That is a big thing for me. Oh yeah, expanded edition. Yeah, check your Amazon, Rob. You're slipping. These things are getting past you, man. Yeah, and this sucker's much bigger than the original. The original is like a regular comic size, which you can see some scale from from the one we were just looking at. So right there, it's. But it's still small enough that it's manageable to hold and handle and flip through. And I love that it sits flat. The special expensive Trojan edition. I'm not sure I get that reference, but okay. Cheesecake action in here. Yeah, I specifically got this so that I could get a real good look at the way he does women because I think his women are just off the hook awesome. Hey now, let's move past the nudity. Let's move past the nudity. Let's not have too much of that. We get YouTube's sensibilities in a tizzy. Expanded. Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. Some jokes land, some jokes don't, especially with me. It's like right over my head. Right, Yeah, I know. I love these kinds of sketchbooks too. Honestly, and Campbell is one of those guys that you'd see him working in the studio, and honestly, this is why you can't take anything away from J. Scott Campbell is because I didn't see any pencilers in the studio that were drawing more often than this guy was. Even when he's sitting around shooting the breeze with people or whatever, he's probably sketching on something. And the amount of development art that he would do far surpassed anybody else that I knew at Wildstorm in terms of, he'd have turnarounds and character sketches. And, you could tell when he was developing a character, like he's just going to draw the crap out of it until it is so consistent. It's unreal. He's going to draw it and draw it and draw it and draw it and draw it until he's got it down pat. And you can see it in the end result of his work. Especially during this area when he's doing Danger Girl stuff, because man, he was really firing on all cylinders at that point. You know, when you're holding your own with with the likes of the Jim Lees and the Mark Sylvesters, I guess it was Gen 13 2 or 3 of the miniseries where he came back 1 month and he had outsold Cyberforce. It wasn't a hostile exchange; it was like a playful competition sort of thing. But yeah, Mark playfully called him some names for beating him in sales. Like you son of a bitch, you kicked my ass, bastard. Yeah, and that Chuck Lee, I agree with you. It is the perfect book if you want to learn something from the artist. Uh, I think it's a great book, and that's why I bought it twice. I bought it originally when it came out, and when they came out with this expanded edition, I was like, okay. Well, and I honestly flipping through this, there isn't much in the way of stuff that I don't remember from before. But I could go pull them out, the old one out, and we could look at it side by side. But it's kind of buried over there. Not my first choice. But I don't remember any of this stuff not being in the original one. These are his thumbnails. He does. I'm not, I think these are the ones that he does that are like probably about the size that you see here, like 2 inches by 3 inches, something like that. I think this is new. Yeah. Bonus pages. Hey, way to signal it for those of us that are slow on the uptake. You can try to see if you can see these. Okay, you can see his little gesture sketches. This is what I look at. Stuff like this. Everybody else wants to look at the very finished stuff, and I'm interested in that too. Don't get me wrong. You're talking to an inker, but um, so I'm definitely interested in the finished product. But at this stage of my career, where I'm torn with the idea of penciling my own stuff, you know, kind of covering the other end, you know, from conception through preliminary. Wow, I love stuff like this. That's great. almost looks like that could be the Invisible Girl. It's a good thing he didn't put a 4 on her chest, because the jig would be up. I also like anytime you can see this early Campbell sketchy marker ink sort of thing. I know he doesn't consider himself an inker necessarily, but I think he does real well. It may not have some of the variation in line weight and stuff that other inkers might go to the trouble to do, but uh, at least you know he's going to catch the spirit of his own artwork really well. Wow, I love this stuff. Uh, yeah, I think the next time you see me doing a digital line stream, it may very well be me sitting down and copying every damn figure in this book, because that is how you do it. Catch a knack for it, you know. That's what helped me with Bridgman. You start copying those drawings, and people are like, "What? You're copying? You're copying?" Yeah, for study purposes. You betcha. Why not? I'm trying to find what their mojo is, and in order to know how something works, I got to take it apart. And there's no shame in that. Now, if you're swiping, if you're actually taking a panel that someone's done and using it as your panel, then yeah, that's a no-no. Don't do that. You know. Um, but for study purposes, yeah, get out that anatomy book and copy that sucker line for line. That's what that book's for. Something else I got recently too was it came out with finally collected this Nightwing stuff uh, by Scott McDaniel. You know, there's stuff in here, and like they've got the mini series, the very first mini series by like Greg Land and Mike Sellers, which actually this like if you're gonna like look at some Greg Land, uh, this is probably better Greg Land to look at. You know, he's not like lifting from stills of porn stars and stuff yet, like people have accused him of doing, or it's just a different style. It's just like a standard commercial sort of look from that time period. It's pretty good, I guess. If I was going to look at Greg Land, that would be the stuff I'd probably go look at. Um, but I bought this for the Scott McDaniel. Uh, I really like the way he lays out his stuff. Am I in Rob's Discord yet? No, nope. I've been told about it, but I don't exactly know where it lurks, and I haven't poked around in it. You know, like the more time I spend on social media and crap like that, the less time that I spend drawing, and it is already precious little. You know, like man, if I get a good solid 4 hours in a day, that's a heavy day. Which that seems like coasting to me now. I excuse myself because it's like, okay, well, you know, you're old, you're retired. You know, you don't have a deadline pounding you or anything like that. So you're excused, you know. But, you know, you're talking to a guy that used to do 15, 16 hour days. So to work four seems like I'm really slacking. The side by side you found on Instagram. Uh oh. That sounds ominous. What'd you find? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Greg Land. I don't think Greg Land passed away. I think they just, I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing at Marvel and DC. I don't know who they're using, who they're not. I am sort of past the point of caring on any of that. Like you know, you'll catch me buying old stuff. You know, oh, the Joker panel that I pointed out. Oh, I got you. Um, Sorry, I'm coming off over the side here because I forgot to mix my Kool Aid. Damn it! Got some cotton mouth going on. Long-time viewers of the channel will know why. See, if Dan Goodwin was here, he'd rat me out. He'd be like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm not on the Discord uh, yet. You know, I suppose I could jump in there. I just haven't. I really haven't messed with Discord a whole lot. I did an interview a couple years ago now, and you know, at that time, the only piece of tech that I had was the headset, and he wanted to do an interview, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how to do any of this stuff, and he kind of walked me through. You know, like, okay, here's how we use Discord, and we used Discord to he used that to do the interview. Yeah, so I'm a little bit familiar with it. But again, I really haven't messed with it a whole lot because I don't know. Like I said, I spend enough. I find enough ways to not draw as it is. I like this stuff. I've always liked Scott McDaniel's work. He's here on YouTube now. I guess he's got a YouTube channel. I like had no idea it existed until recently, and put up video and like, hey man, I didn't know you were on here. But yeah, I really dig his stuff. This stuff's all rock solid, and they really haven't reprinted it in a large format book like this. What I really wish they would have done though is gone ahead and sprung for the hardcover and made this an omnibus. Because I don't know, little known fact to a lot of people, you get a big, thick, softbound book like this, at some point you're gonna have a problem with pages coming out of the binding. Over time, that's just gonna be too much stress on that binding. So you need that stuff sewn in there, like you get, and glued in there extra tight, like you get with your omnibuses. Because over time it'll just split. It'll just fall apart in some spot or another. And in fact, with the Showcase Presents books and the Marvel Essentials, um, I've actually had some of them where the cover has come away from the newsprint. Like you get to that first page of the thing. I've had them split right here and have the cover come loose from the binding. Had to go in with Elmer's glue and re-glue the thing down. This is Showcase Presents Enemy Ace. By the way, see, this is what we should be looking at. No offense to Scott McDaniel, I'm sure he would agree, but like, here you go, Rob. You want some DC stuff to buy? This is awesome. Of course, I think this book's about $30. It's the cheapest Showcase Presents that has Joe Kubert in it. They got the Showcase Presents Sergeant Rock books, and I've got those too. Um, but those are running 50, $70 sometimes for beat to hell ones. So, but this one in particular, I would recommend this one because not only does it have this Enemy Ace stuff in here by Kubert, you also have Enemy Ace stuff. We had other people drawing this book too. Um, yeah, this stuff back here is by Howard Chaykin, who did American Flag. You see that nice chunky line, hard angular stuff. Oh, I love this stuff. This is the guy that used to share the studio with Frank Miller and Walt Simonson back in the day. They all shared the studio together at around the time that he would have been doing this work. The Frank Miller Daredevil years, the Walt Simonson Thor years, and American Flag by Howard Chaykin were all going on at around the same time and all happening out of the same damn room, from my understanding. Great big studio room or whatever that they had sectioned off into, you know, and this is your part, this is my part, etc. Yeah. The other stuff that's in here too is John Severin, who most people are familiar with from Mad Magazine, but he is famous for his pen and ink technique, and he's been around since the EC Comics days, the Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror and all that. Um, but John Severin does some really super nice work in this one, and I thought maybe I'm misremembering. I thought there were some stories in here by a young Dan Green. Ed Davis. Ed Davis and Juan Ortiz. My dog Marvin come to see me. Hey, what's up, buddy? It's like, why are you in here talking to yourself? That's Frank Thorne. So you get really a good best of the best in here anyway. Like not only you get some really killer Joe Kubert stuff There's some Neil Adams stuff in here, inked by Joe Kubert. Uh, uh, Ortiz back here, and the Simonson stuff, and John Severin. This one has got a good dose of just all kinds of great artwork in it. And guess what? If you need reference for a biplane, Joe Kubert has drawn freaking biplanes in this in every conceivable condition, every conceivable angle and position. I think this is the. I see another hand, and this might be the Neil Adams story, maybe. I don't know. They have these formatted weird because you can see like back in the old days, they would just like stop a story in the middle of a page, and they would have like a house ad or something like this for another book or something. Like just set in the middle of a page. It was the weirdest thing ever. I'm like, okay, I understand, but it's kind of weird placement, and that's why you see this big enemy ace slug on so many of these because they did it like every time. Yeah, is it this one? Nope, that's just Kubert. I'm just gonna keep flipping. I could cheat and go look at the table of contents. Here we go. This is the story where it's Neil Adams pencils, Joe Kubert ink. You can tell too, because Joe Kubert's not going to give you an angle like that. That is some Neil Adams stuff like that. But the Kubert inks, man, just the most powerful sort of finishes. It's so different from what Neil Adams would have done. Yeah, I don't know what these are going for. I want to say I got this one for like $20, but it was a few years ago, and I've noticed like some of the books I bought, like during the pandemic, uh, yeah, really bumped up in price. Like everybody went nuts for books, and like books that I bought just a couple years ago for 30, $40 are now up to 100, 200, 250. Okay, great. But I'm not selling them, so it doesn't really do much for me. I really cannot see that with a shit. Okay. Well, that's what it is now, damn it. I'm not exactly 100% on what he drew, but this is what it is now. On this version. Got a magnifying glass, little light from Amazon. It works a lot. Yeah, you did email me that final page. I do have that. I just haven't gotten to it yet because I'm working on the Liefeld homage still. But I started this because everybody was not here yet with the live stream. I like to wait and give everybody a chance, but to not just leave it totally sitting here doing nothing in case anybody does show up. All right. I guess next time I'll have to print darker gray. I mean, it doesn't look awful or anything, but I'm missing a bunch of stuff. And I don't like that. So yeah, I probably will not be sharing that with Brett until I print out a darker one that I can work with better. Even then, I think at this point I would be more comfortable inking Brett Booth digitally. Um, no, I don't know. It might be different if somebody was dealing with blue, but yeah, I think I'd be more comfortable inking Brett Booth digitally, or you know, with actual pencils, you've got it's not just like a straight gray like this. You've got spots where it's darker, spots where it's lighter, spots where there's emphasis and not, and it helps give your brain the visual cues that it needs. Maybe I'll have a printout next to me next time I go and try and do something like this. So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have a wrap here for today. I'm I've been on for about an hour. Um, and next time I'll make sure that I've got a better print, and we'll mess with some of these again. I've got another one here of Psylocke. See, this is so crazy. You can see it better on the camera than I can with my eyes. So I'm looking up at the screen past this, and I'm like, going, okay, you can see that just fine. What's the problem? Well, the problem is just light shining off of it, and it's far enough from my face that okay. Yeah, I used to have one of those magnifying glass drawing lights on my table back in the day. Yeah, one of those ones Chuck Lee's talking about. You got a big round glass in it, but the thing of it is like you only got an area like that or something like that where that glass covers, and working through that all the time is a drag. It starts bugging your eyes. Well, it starts bugging my eyes anyway. Um, so yeah, that's not exactly perfect. But anyway, yeah, I joined Brett Booth's Patreon. Um, I recommend that. Go check him out. Like $5 a month or something like that. And he's got a whole pile of pencils. All you aspiring inkers who look at my stuff here on YouTube and are checking it out for that, looking at technique and things like this. Oh, hey, that's something we can look up while I'm sitting here blabbing. Yeah, OMAC. I was telling Rob about these suckers. OMAC by John Byrne. This is some of that duo shade paper stuff. Yeah, that Psylocke is awesome. But yeah, Brett Brothers Patreon, man, $5, and he puts up stuff every month, and he's got like a whole archive of probably like a few years worth of sketches, drawings, pencil pages, ink pages, commissions that he's done for people, and all manner of other stuff. Yeah, Rob, this is that OMAC by Burns stuff that I was talking about that's done on that duo shade paper. Like when you see me using duo shade, when you see me using tones and stuff with those lines, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Capture some of that mojo. Um, some places it gets too busy. That's why I like Clip Studio Paint because right there, like if you're dealing with the actual duo shade paper, then you can't change the frequency of these lines. You can't get them any closer together, further apart. You can't change them into dots or anything like that. But with Clip Studio Paint, you've got all those options. I really think this OMAC book is. I never read Kirby's OMAC. I'll confess that. Um, but I have heard good things about it. The artwork's certainly awesome with Kirby's. Uh, but this is Burns' take on it. A time travel story, uh, which it's pretty well done for a time travel story. It's not the most awesome story that I've ever read, and it's not a piece of garbage either. It was an entertaining read. You know, it's been years. I should actually read it again, but yeah, when you see me doing textures and stuff with all that tone and stuff like that on your pages, that is exactly the kind of thing I'm thinking about. Now, this OMAC series, if you're interested, Rob, you can pick this sucker up for, um, well, like I just bought all 4 issues for under $15. It hit eBay, man, and these are in great shape too. You know, like these look like brand new books, but these were published in 1991. Yeah, yeah, these books are older than my kid. But yeah, you look at some really cinematic stuff from Byrne in this first issue. I thought more so than you normally get from John Byrne, and it, you know, really making the most of this silent action sequence he's got going on. Um, you know, big explosion. Here you go, Rob. Big explosion, yet no sound effect. See? But yeah, this particular issue, this first issue reminded me a lot of. For some reason, it gives me Terminator vibes, big time. Great tech stuff. Byrne was always really solid with drawing any kind of technology, machinery, and stuff like that. Yeah, now that I'm sitting there thinking about it, there's no sound effects at all in any of this. At least not in this issue. Oh, scared the shit out of my dog. I'm sorry, Marvin. It's like, what the hell? Yeah, I kind of forgot until I was getting ready to shut down. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna show them this stuff because I got it sitting around. Um, but yeah, really awesome stuff. And to do, here's the other thing too is you got another issue where it's set back like in the 1940s, or I guess this is like even earlier than that. Um, this might be like the Great Depression. But there's another one set before during World War II, and a certain German leader during World War II makes a cameo appearance, and there may be some imagery there that they really don't like in other countries, and it might get me flagged by YouTube. So I now that I'm thinking about it as I'm going through here, I'm gonna have to skip past a lot of issue 4. Ooh, hey now, yeah, some PG-13 nudity. That's about as risky as Burns gonna go. I love that. That is so cool the way he's used the tones right there. The intensity in that expression too. And Byrne is not one of these guys that is for stuff like this. You're not going to turn to photographs really. Byrne's one of those guys that can kind of pull this stuff out of his hat. He's been doing it so long. But yeah, if you like black and white stuff, and I do, everybody knows my channel knows that I do. And you like John Byrne, and everybody on my channel knows that I like my Byrne stuff. I highly recommend this series. Yeah, let's see if we can get past some of these. I can show you some of this stuff from this issue. That's a really cool shot. There's another one of those where it's very cinematic and a lot of like James Bond kind of imagery, secret agency stuff. Lots of silent sequences where he's just letting the pictures do the work. No dialogue. Yeah, I really hate that term, burn victim. That sounds, yeah, cringe, as the kids would say now. That's very cringe. But I guess by definition, yes, I am a burn victim. Can't believe I just said that out loud. Anyway, um, okay. Well, other than the sequence with that German leader that I skipped, most of this has been okay. Like, okay, we're not getting too much stuff anybody's gonna flip out about. Um, Make sure we're not heading into a buzzsaw with this one. Okay. But yeah, this OMAC series, 4 issues. I wish they would collect this. Again, it's something that lays flat. In the 80s, I thought this was fancy to have this nice square bound sort of thing. But as a reader, I really dislike it. I don't want to have to deal with my comic with more than one hand. So I'm typically drawing with the other hand. You know, you can't copy any of this to learn because it won't sit open for you. Yeah, yeah. What are you gonna do? They're not asking me about the burn victim thing. So OMAC is very underrated. I don't doubt that, man. Um, I've got some other OMAC too. It's by Keith Giffen and Scott Koblish. Did a series back like like the New 52 time frame or something like that. I think it was, and that's a nice series too. A definite. If you like Kirby, he's definitely got some Kirby stuff going on with it. I love that. I just love that. So yeah, I do highly recommend OMAC. That is some good stuff right there. All right, and now this time for real. I've been on here for an hour and 24 minutes, and we're going to call it quits right here, boys and girls. Thanks for stopping in and spending some time with me. I appreciate it. Hopefully, we should be back on the regular schedule. So, we're looking at probably 9 a.m., 9:30 next Sunday is what I'm hoping for, and we'll go for another like hour and a half or something like that. Um, I probably will be back during the course of the week, popping in doing some digital inking live streams. But unless I get something else out to show off, I probably won't break out the camera again until next week. Unless somebody wants to see something. Hey, leave a shout out in the comments or whatever. Let me know if there's stuff that I own that you know that I own. Like, hey man, break that thing out. Let me look at it. Um, hey, someone saying thanks for stopping by and spending the time. I appreciate it. So anyway, thanks very much to everybody that stopped by. I appreciate you. Like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications because I don't really let anybody know in advance when I do these things. Unfortunately, I'm way too disorganized for that kind of thing. So, all right. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later. Bye.